I was fired from my $500,000 a year job as a software engineer working at StubHub, and this is my story. I was fired for questioning the culture and the work at the company. I found it difficult to work in StubHub's environment when I would ask for data about why the decisions were being made. I wasn't provided with documentation about why certain decisions were being made. And then I was told, well, do I need to know everything? I can't know everything that's going on at the company. The director also said I could switch teams, which is how I ended up meeting with a data team that manages the data coming into StubHub. When I met with an engineer on the team, we started discussing some of the data, and in particular, I had a question because there was something being brought up about mismatches between events. Essentially, my question was, is it possible for someone to sell a ticket, but the event is not actually happening there? And the engineer said that they didn't know. I also met with the manager of the data team, and I had several questions around how they were handling ticket data, whether or not they were using machine learning models to try to help identify scammers or fake tickets instead of relying on agents, which could provide an inconsistent customer experience. In addition to this, I asked more consumer protection questions related to what about the event of a large fake ticket selling scheme. The manager did not answer my question, and he was like, why are you asking these questions? I also asked questions related to the responsibility if a seller tries to sell a ticket that they don't have, and in response the manager said, well, it's basically the seller's responsibility and it's not necessarily the company's responsibility. I wasn't the only one that had concerns over consumer protections. I attended an all-hands meeting where employees were concerned about Reddit comments and the negative company perception. I noticed a lot of Reddit comments where people were complaining about being scammed. I noticed a lot of comments where people would try to get a ticket for an event, have booked like flights and hotels, and ended up not actually getting the ticket transferred to them in time. Or StubHub tries to mediate the situation and gives them an alternate ticket, but that ticket is nowhere comparable to the ticket that the consumer actually wanted. A few days later, after I had asked questions about these consumer protection related things, I was fired from the company, again with the reason being that I had been questioning the culture and work at the company, and that I had wanted to switch teams. Me wanting to switch teams was encouraged by my manager and the director about finding a good team fit for me.
Yo, bros. So I saw this video of a guy who picked a job, right, working for a decent sized company and getting paid $500K yearly. Then he got fired because he was holding them down, right? Wanting to change the company, change how the company is, change people, like be very, altruistic. Trying to change how the company works, being very morally, trying to make the company into something that he believes is morally correct. Here's the thing and then he got fired for it, right? And just saying a lot of things that, we have, there's terrible people, immorally sound people. And here's the thing where I get it, and it's not like I don't agree that, yes, big companies and all this shit, they're definitely not the most morally sound, group of people or whatever in this world. But I think a lot of people are going about things wrong, right? Like a man like this. It is a problem that we constantly want to change others. Instead of living by an example. Because here's the thing where I see it as. You would rather change multi-million-dollar companies to be morally sound instead of, earning the money that you earn and then using the money that you earn being morally sound person, i.e., let's say, giving back to your community, donating your money, all this stuff to, worthy causes. No, you want to change big companies. Because here's the thing where, in my honest opinion, I don't think they will ever change. That's the thing where I come to realize that, at the end of the day, we live in a capitalistic country. To be honest, I think we live in a selfish world where most people think about themselves, the benefit for themselves. What do I get out of this? So I think it's highly, highly unlikely, right, to get any company to truly, truly be so morally sound that it's like sickening. I really honestly don't believe that. But a good way, to actually, to be morally right is that how about you earn these money that you are earning from them and then give back, do your actions, and hopefully maybe through your actions, your selfless actions, you can change minds. But to force people to change minds is like, honestly, the wrong way to do it. Because I've seen that it is much harder to force people to change their mind just from your words rather than have people change their heart through your actions, i.e. you earn the money you earn and you do the charity work you do. Because here's the thing now he's fired. Now he doesn't have the money to actually do any good. Now he's only online complaining about the big companies. They still chug along. Those companies still chug along. So that's why I just think a lot of times we are going about things wrong. Because at a $500K salary, you could do so much. You could have done so much well. You could have done so much good things. Giving back to so many communities, do charity work, all this stuff. At that amount, now you're not earning that at all. Now you can't do nothing besides complain about big companies not being, holier than thou. And I just think that's honestly ridiculous. And helps what? Helps nobody. Because now you're back to square one, complaining about big companies, you know? But it's like, because here's the thing where I see this. A lot of people who even works for these companies that earns this amount of money, they themselves are doing nothing. They're not doing anything charitable, anything amazing themselves. They're not being altruistic. Okay, they're not. The people in general. I'm not saying all of them, but in general, these people who, like, you see it with like the Democrat thing. The people who are being so, you know, outspoken. They themselves, they're not doing anything great with their money, with their, you know, small power or whatever. They're not. So at the end of the day, I don't know. I just think a lot of people, you know, in my opinion, I always felt like if I ever, which I probably won't, get to amount of money that I wanted to give back to communities. Right. One of the goals I've had was, you know what, if I ever get to a certain point in life with financially, I want to teach other people financial education for free. Right. But, you know, it's just, I'm not gonna ever get to that point. But there's ways for, if you earn a substantial amount of money, there's ways for you to personally make changes, affect changes, instead of, you know what, just voicing people's, you know, trying to change people with your voice. I don't know. I just think that's annoying a lot of times.
I was fired from my $500,000 a year job as a software engineer working at StubHub, and this is my story.
Guess why they fired this man? They fired this man because he was overly working. What a rookie move. Asking questions they don't want him asking, investigating shit they don't want him investigating. They told this, why are you asking so many questions? He just kept asking more questions, going around to coworkers and trying to build a brigade. Man, I would have been fired you. For $500K, if I tell you don't do shit, don't do shit. If I tell you stop asking questions, stop asking questions. Why are you overly working? You're just a number, you're just a check, and they're giving you $500,000. Why don't you just engineer the software? He's talking about consumer protection. Do you work for the Consumer Bureau of Consumerism? Like, I understand, like, as a consumer, thank you for sacrificing $500,000 a year on my behalf. I don't even like StubHub. I don't even be on StubHub. But thank you for sacrificing your salary so that maybe if I get an NFL ticket, I might not get, well, they're still doing whatever they're doing. You just lost your job. I never understand why people overly work when their job tells them, hey, calm down. Why are you doing that? Why are you working so hard that you're getting in your own way? This is not your family's business. You probably just saved them money. They probably just got another compliant software engineer that they only got to pay like $450,000 now. You just saved them $50,000. They're gonna keep scamming. Did you think you were in like some type of spy thriller? You were supposed to uncover what? Were you supposed to build StubHub from the ground up? Engineer the software. Now just become a content creator, bro. Just do that, because you don't want to engineer the software. You want to ask questions. You want to restructure the corporation. They're not having that, bro. Get a grip.
How do we get to a point of affordable healthcare? How do we get to a point of affordable groceries, affordable rent? How do we get gun control? The issues that actually matter in this country. Rather than having this divisive rhetoric that tears us apart, how do we come together as a community? That's what you should be introducing your
So you went on LinkedIn, applied for StubHub of your own free will. StubHub. Got a job making $500,000 a year. Tried to rebuild the company from the ground up, asking questions, doing the most. They done told you, hey, relax, you're doing too much. You tried to build a brigade of employees on the work floor to challenge the bosses. They fired you. And then you came onto social media explaining the entire situation for us. And then I made a response saying, hey, perhaps you should have just engineered the software and continued to make $500,000 a year instead of losing your job and being immediately replaced by someone else who is just going to engineer the software. And now you're talking about gun control, universal healthcare, and what all else. Were we supposed to help get your StubHub job back that you lost, and then you would get us universal healthcare? Is that how it would have worked? I don't understand. Are you a StubHub politician? I'm gonna give you a little secret. If you go far up enough in any company, you're going to see some slime ball stuff. That's just how it works. You could have at least went to a reputable company. You done chose StubHub. You wanted to be a hero at StubHub? Why didn't you do it anonymously? Why didn't you create a vigilante persona on here? You just wanted the clout and you wanted to be perceived as a hero. I do believe you have a good heart and you mean well, but you gotta do things with common sense. Gather the intel and drop it off at ABC headquarters, bro. Like, don't be on the office floor chanting, we want, bro, they're gonna fire you, dude. And then they're just gonna get another person to slime us out even harder. Have a wonderful day. What a rookie move. Asking questions they don't want him asking.
Just sitting there and doing your job is exactly why we're in the state that we are in this country, right? Because you guys have sacrificed your morals, your integrity, and your principles for a bag.
No, it isn't. We're in this mess because wages have stagnated. Our government has been bought out by foreign entities and private companies. And the combination of inflation and purposeful price gouging is kicking our ass. That's why we're in this mess. No, the average person did not sacrifice their morals and integrity and what... Bro, people work at Wendy's, man. We got regular jobs. Do you know what your problem is? Your problem is that you think the $500,000 that they're paying you makes you somehow not part of the American peasantry. Well, guess what? You are not a noble. You are still a peasant with a nice tunic on that they let you borrow. This is my first ever content creator beef. What I would like to celebrate this occasion is for you to go to my bio, click on the link, and follow me over there. Or else you'll never see me again when the clock strikes midnight. Please do it now. The moment you do too much, they'll snatch that shit right off you and send you back to the potato fields. That's how it is. You think you're in the offices going noble for noble? No, you're still a peasant. If you lose your job or if you stay unemployed for too long, you're done. Them, they could lose their whole company. They'll just fuck around and make another one. They could get fined $2 billion. They'll just pay it. It's not the same. If you want to lead a revolution, you're supposed to be communicating with us at midnight. You're supposed to grow your hair out and braid codes into your hair so we can get around StubHub's like manipulation tactics. You're not supposed to go argue with the feudal lord. They're gonna make an example out of you. Then the worst part is you could have stayed at that job and finessed and did the least, but still kind of like protected us a little bit. But now that you're gone, they're gonna go get the slimiest grindball. He's not about to ask nothing. And he's coming for our necks. He's about to violate. We're never gonna be able to get a ticket to nothing else. And they're only gonna pay him $350,000. $350,000 to slime us all, and he'll do it.
And I think this guy goes on a crazy tangent too. Crazy thing where, affordable healthcare grows. It's like, bro, then just try to be a politician. You're not changing nothing. Honestly, it's great that, you know what, vote your opinion, but really your fake I don't know, philanthropic ideas or attitude is ridiculous, right? Because honestly, all you're doing is voicing your opinions, which is fine, but you're not changing anything. You're not affecting anything. And to be honest, for you to be so holier than thou, and then you messed up your career. Also going to StubHub thinking you're changing anything. It's like someone going to Meta, Google, and trying to, you know what, make it their own company. Like, who are you? I think the biggest thing that's happening in recent years is that average people, most people think that they are more than what they are, but average people, a lot of times. He could have, right? He was on his way to being above average man, above average person, at least financially. And with that journey, he could have made drastic changes, right? But no, his ego got the best of him, which I think happens to a lot of people. They are so, people become so egotistical that they accomplish nothing. They actually get in their own way, which I think happened to this man. He became so egotistical that he knows what's right and he wants things to change how he feels it should change. He got in his own way, where I've always believed I think this is a fact. Money equals power. Now you have no money, so you have no power. With no power, you affect no change. To be honest, I've always believed that where, you know, to have a voice in this country, in this world, you need money, you need power. And this man foolishly ruined his own chance to gain said money and power. Because to be a black man, to earn $500,000 a year is a rare feat. He could have affected change, not just in his community. He could have affected change around the world. He could have, you know, because I don't know how old he is, but if he was young enough, made enough, and then give enough time to it, he could have earned enough wealth to actually affect changes. Hell, he could have earned enough wealth, maybe develop his own company, make his own, you know, companies where he can, you know, do the it's like, this is a thing where you have to be somebody. You have to have some power to make some kind of changes. But now he essentially is just all talk.